This is my fourth time trying to do this video. Hey, my name is Colleen, and I just want to say my heart goes out to Charlie Kirk's family and to his wife and children, especially, and his mom and dad. I can't even imagine what they're going through right now, and my heart hurts for them. Charlie brought out a lot of news about God and Jesus. He spoke the truth, which none of us heard before. They kept all this silent from the churches and from the schools. They got the Bible. They kicked the Bibles out of schools a long time ago, and a lot of people don't talk about God and Jesus. Charlie did a lot of good. He brought out the truth. He brought out the stuff that nobody wanted to talk about, and I thank God for him and for what he is doing, what he did do for this country, and what his legacy is still moving on. Jesus is real. God is real. You might not be able to see them, but can you see the air that you breathe? You breathe it, you breathe in and out, but can you see it? No, you can't. That's how Jesus is. You can't see him, but he's there. And he's there in all of us that believe and that don't believe. God created us all. He didn't just create the whites. He didn't just create the blacks. He created all of us. And it doesn't really matter what color we are. That feud has been going on for years about color, race, and everything else, and it doesn't make sense to me at all. I got married at 18. I had my first child at 18. My husband at the time was in the Navy, so he was gone a lot. And my son ended up in psych at age 2 because of his behavior. They didn't have a word for it. They didn't have any kind of diagnosis. They just called it all different names, long names that I can't even remember half of them. And he ended up in psych, lockdown facilities at 6. And what lockdown facilities were back then was inpatient for 6 months. Couldn't see him. Couldn't really communicate with him at all for 6 months. Some were in there for longer and some were in there for shorter, but he stayed in there for 6 months at a time. And then when he became a teenager, he ended up in juvie. And he was there for, I think he was in juvie for 18 months. And then when he turned 18, he lived with me. By this time, my ex-husband and I got divorced. And he moved in with me and my daughter. And my youngest daughter, who's 3 years younger than him. And he was 18, and then at 19, as soon as he turned 19, he ended up going to jail. He went to prison to serve an 18-year sentence for attempted armed robbery. And that was a challenge. Not having your son around was really difficult. So what happened was I just prayed a lot, and then God told me that it's more like Joseph. And when Joseph was taken by his brothers and thrown into the well and then sold and then ended up going to prison, that's the way I looked at it. He's a Joseph. So I prayed over him. I prayed and prayed and prayed. There was one time that my daughter and I were going to go visit my son in prison. And it was a Saturday. It took me 3 hours to get there. I was getting lost because it was pretty far away, didn't know the area. And they told me that I was not able to see him that day. I had to come back the next day. I went into panic mode. I cried. I was about to lose my everlasting mind. But my daughter helped me. She goes, Mom, let's go before they put you in jail. So we got back into the car and left. I prayed again, and God was telling me He did not want to see him in jail. God did not want me to see him while he was in prison. So I didn't. And then, but before all that, when he was younger, I was depressed. I was very depressed. He was in and out of psych units. My daughter was just a baby. I felt like they would be better off without me. So that's when I tried to commit suicide, and I took all my son's psych meds. God had another plan for me, because the doctors told me when I did wake up that I was very lucky and very blessed, because I could have died, or I could have been paralyzed, and I was neither. God had another plan. Didn't know what that plan was. I still don't know what that plan is. But I do know that there is a God. My son is out of prison. He's working. He's living in the area that I'm living at now, and my daughter's living here too. And they're doing fantastic. And my son might be a little lost at what he believes in, but I'm still praying for him, and my daughter's got 4 wonderful children. And so I know there's a God, and I know there's a Jesus. I even saw Jesus a couple times in my dreams, in my visions. And I even hear his voice. He wanted me to do this video. For what reason, I don't know. Maybe to help somebody else out. I don't know. I even wrote a book, but I'm not able to get it published because I'm going through a lot of stuff trying to figure out how to publish it. I went through one company, but I can't go through them again. So, life isn't fair. Life is hard, especially nowadays. Financially, it's difficult. There's people living in tents. And it's sad. And there's children missing. And that's another story and another time. But just want to let you know that I do feel my heart goes out to Charlie's family and to the people to his friends and family. My heart goes out to them. God bless, take care, and thanks for listening.